Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and since it's Women's History Month, I'm here today to talk to you about Power Rangers Lost Galaxy episode Orion Rising. So this is a Maya and Kindred solo episode where it focuses on them. And so it deals with those two not getting along. This is very rare in Power Rangers mythos because like the pink and yellow ranger or whoever the two female rangers are, it's very rare for those two to argue and have arguments. It happened in space. I think it happened in Megaforce. And I think that's really the only times, tell you the truth. Other than that, the female ranger, when it's like a solo one, they just fight with the guys and stuff like that. And so, it's a really cool episode. It's a really cute episode. Maya and the birthday cake. But this episode is important because it isn't the last episode. It's not really a two-parter, but it's the second to last episode of the Orion saga that captivated the first couple of episodes of the first season. And the American version is about this 12th episode or so, but in the Sentai Japanese, it's about the 20th or something like that. So yeah, man, they cut a lot out. But they got right to the whole Orion thing. So there's no Deviant in this because he hasn't shown up. Mike has not shown up yet, and we have the original Magna Defender, the grumpy one. And so in this episode, Kendricks is making a birthday cake for Damon. And so we see Leo in his original black leather jacket that he wore in the the first half of the series before he changed up to that blue shirt. And, because he's a rebel bad boy. So he had to wear the black leather and everything. But he really wasn't that much of a bad boy. He was a little bit of a hothead, but not really. But, Leo really grew on me in the series because at first I really didn't like him because he was the stowaway, and then he wasn't the one who pulled the sword, but he got to be a ranger, and he was just always goofing around, not taking anything serious. And it always bugged me how so much good stuff kept happening to him and everything. Because, he was, and it's dude, you're an adult, you're not in college, you don't have a job, and all this good stuff is just happening to you. But he proved to be one of the better Red Rangers and stuff. This dude is courageous and literally put his life on the line. Not because he thinks it's cool or nothing like that, but because he sees the dangers of aliens. Because he's known all about that because he's from Angel Grove, And so this dude is just brave and everything. And so Kendricks will not let him have a bite. Well, in comes the little alien jungle girl. Just walking and prancing into the room with her little purse and everything. And it's wherever she's been, it must have been an adventure because she is starving. And she is just hungry. And she does it in such a cute, petite kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And so she's looking around for food and there's no food, but she sees cake. And she just devours that cake in the cutest comedic way. They had her doing a very comedic way and everything. And then in comes Kendricks. Boy, if that pink outfit could turn red, she is not happy at all. And asking her, why did you eat that cake? And she just basically all when do I ever need permission to eat? It's basically I saw cake, I wanted cake, now the cake's in my stomach. I wish they could have used a line like that. And so Kendrick is just mad. They're in each other's faces, and Maya's all in the jungle, we share our food with people. And then Kendra's all oh yeah, well around here we ask people for permission to eat something. Oh, that dialogue in this episode, it kills me. I love it. Like, you just have to see the anger in her face when she says it. She's like reprimanding her like she's her mom or something like that. Well, Leo and Kai are like, just like spying on them on the outside, but the door opens because it's automatic. They ain't happy to see that. And the boys get a face of cake and everything. So the only bad person who shows up in this episode is the actual monster. And I forget the monster's name, but he has a samurai theme. And he sounds like a bug. Or he sounds like somebody twisting and pulling and turning on a guy's bowling balls. So his voice is very bug-like. And so he's looking for the lights of Orion. Hey, who isn't? You know what I'm saying? But he erects a force field. I should never say that word at the time about squeezing somebody bowling balls. Anyway, he puts up a force field and everything, a little dome, so nobody can get in or get out. Okay, he senses the lights are in that vicinity and everything. The two females are still pissed and they're walking like far distance away from each other, talking about we'll like divide the room and everything. I'm just, come on, man, what are you, like 5? Divide the room. Well, all of a sudden, smack dab in the face, something hits them and they fall to the ground. And then they realize there's some type of like invisible wall that they can't pass. And we get to hear an explanation from Maya, from her home people. What the star blazers? I tell you, I like that. Because I'm so sick and tired of hearing aliens say, by the stars. Like, that's happening in so many other sci-fi crap. It's like, say something else. I don't expect them to say, oh my God, but stop saying by the stars. I'm cool with what the star blazers. Could you imagine her saying it when she's pissed? And so the monster reveals himself and the girls go at it. It's a nice little morphing sequence and everything, but what really pissed me off about the morphing sequence is, okay, this is what I don't understand. When they did Kai and Damon later on in the series, they put those two side by side when they morphed. When they did the girls, they had the full screen, the fire background, and the little squares that separate the two girls, and little teeny tiny squares. And I hate when they do that. It's like, I want to see the full thing, you know? So anyways, it's hiney whooping time. And so the girls think, but they end up getting their heinies whooped and everything. And so, they're charging up their Quasar sabers. But man, freaking Hasbro need to hurry up and get on that, because I want myself a Quasar saber. And now since they're making the blades light up, all they have to do is just have one Quasar saber, have like the coin of the animal in that can be interchangeable. Therefore, when you put, say, like red in, the sword will glow red. You put in green, it goes green. How easy is that? And they're gonna charge about 150 to 200 freaking dollars, man. That pisses me off, because I still don't have Saba yet, and when they make him, it's gonna be about $200. So Anyway, now I'm mad about that. That's all I want to rant about now. So anyways, they're lighting up and everything, and so it's cool because we get to see some really cool VFX, like final strikes with their sabers, which you really don't get to see from the females and everything. So that's like really cool. But anyway, this dude's tough and he ain't having it, and he's whooping on them, and so Kendra's noticed something. People are starting to pass out and everything. So she tells Maya. Maya don't want to hear it. So Maya, I think, ends up getting hurt. And then so Kendra pulls out her beta bow and uses it. It's very rare to see these rangers use their weapons. They normally just use their Quasar sabers. When the girls were trying to fight the monster, the guys showed up. I forgot to mention that because I wanted to save them for a little bit later. So the guys show up on the Astral Cycles, which, by the way, the Astral Cycles, if you don't know this, is an American-made thing. It's not in the Sentai. In the Sentai, they use horses. Why? Because they were never in space. World building. Saban does it again. I love it when he does that. So anyway, it always pissed me off how the guy was the only one who got Astral Cycles and the girls never did. Like, what the world's that about? And I think this is like one of the only Power Rangers season where that's ever happened, where they made like, because they make a motorcycle, it's for like the core team, but they never just make it for the guys, unless it's in the Disney era When for some reason, for the Crimson, Blue, and the Black Ranger, they made specialized like motorcycles that like turned into hover cycles for some reason. I love those things. Anyway, and so like they're trying to get in and they can't. And guess who they see? I know I'll get into that later. And you know what? I guess like I always wondered, I always thought it was neat that they live in like a not a satellite station, but God, what is it called? Space station. They live in a space station, and there's like mountains and trees and grass and all that other stuff. But now you know for a fact it's artificial assimilated and stuff. Because I always wonder, I'm all like, did they just take like mountains and trees and grow them and like there and stuff like that? Like, you know, cut off some mountains and just like attach it to like, you know, the dome or inside the dome and everything and grow themselves some trees before they like set out into like space. Because if people are losing air inside the dome, then those trees can't be real trees and stuff. Because that's how we get our oxygen and everything. So that's so weird. We get oxygen from trees, man. Like that's just weird. Anyway, so this is the part that got me, man. Woo. So Maya's hurt. I still don't understand how she got scratches on her face, but there's 3 scratches. I guess she must have pissed off Wolverine or something. And so like, because you think she would have got blasted someplace else where it would have hurt, but no. So Kendra's being as nice as she is, she's no longer mad, and she takes out her handkerchief and everything to clean up Maya's face, the blood on there. Very rare to see blood on Power Rangers. And not only that, but your handkerchief got snot on it. That ain't hygienic. But Maya's response, I think she smacked or she grabbed Kendrick's hand. And the way she said, "Don't touch me," I'm like, darn, Maya, like, what do you think you are in self-defense class? Or you think that's a dude? Like, seriously, man, like, she said that, like Kendrick was a dude and everything. She's like, "Don't touch me," and everything. Like, whoa, like, I felt that from the screen. It reminds me of that scene from Supergirl where like this giant, I don't know what it was. It was like a supervillain or a monster or something. And she's like, "Hey, buddy, you can't touch me without consent." It was so corny. God. That's the thing about the CW, man. It's so cheesy at times with, oh God, don't even get me started on Riverdale. It's so cheesy with their dialogue. And so Maya runs off flipping around, doing her Jungle Girl thing, and Kendrick is so sad, and she just sad and everything. And so like they go underground trying to get through. And they can't because the force field goes all the way underground. Now, what I like about this is that it really reminds you that, hey, they are in a space station. When they go underground, it's kind of like an underground, like sewer, like warehouse type system type thing. And it's cool, you know? Man, it's so funny. Leo smacked his head and fell right down. So this is how you do humor, man. Like, that's just such subtle humor. Not like the Disney and like the Nickelodeon era. They just went nuts with their humor. And this is why people make fun of Power Rangers again. Because they just went all crazy with the humor and stuff. Because there was once upon a time when Power Rangers first came out, it was a lot of slapstick humor. Then they started to slow the humor down just a little in space, but with Lost Galaxy, all the humor was just like taken away. And then that's how it was for the next like 3 seasons and stuff. Then came Disney, then came Nickelodeon. So Maya's walking around and she sees a cake shop, and inside is a bunch of birthday cakes. And she now realizes what the mistake she made and everything, that it was a birthday cake, and that's why Kendrick got pissed. Now it's funny because she saw the presents in like her like dorm type thing, and she still didn't get the connection. I doubt she was just really hungry. But you know, deep down inside Maya's mind, she's like, man, that cake sure does look good. And yes, it does. It's a really cute scene where Kendrick is like, saw 2 girls passing out from oxygen or lack of oxygen, and The two girls are made to resemble like Maya and Kendra. Like, come on, man, how sappy could you get? And so, like, even the little girl who's supposed to be like the little representation of Maya has scratches on her face. You can barely see them, but if you look really close, they're on. Well, if we're facing her, it's on the right, but it's on her left side. And the girl's like, "That's okay, as long as we have each other. Like, who cares about oxygen?" Now it would have made more sense if, cause no, Kendra, she's fine now. She's not pissed no more. This would have been better if it was for like Maya or something like that. So the two girls meet up and they're all fine, but there's a problem. Grumpy old Matna the Offender. He wants into that dome because he wants the lights. And he tells the Rangers, like back off and everything. He calls his Torzord and he goes to action. He's just whacking at it, just whacking, 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 trying to get inside the dome, and it has way too much energy. So the Rangers call the Zords to stop him, but before they can actually fight him, something happens. Dude looks like he's having a heart attack and everything, and he doesn't know what it is, and his Zord just spits him out. And so I know what's wrong with him and everything, but I'll get into that later whenever I do the rundown review. But something internal is like affecting his heart, let's just say that. So the girls see the monster, they morph again, and they realize they have to take out that little force field thing. So they start working together. And so they call on their weapons and their trans daggers. And I love how Maya does the whole Leo type thing. And so they both go at them and everything. And Maya really goes all Leo, man. She like literally charges up her sword and strikes at it like Leo does. This is very rare because you don't see no other ranger really do that. You see Kai do it one time, maybe Damon, and then you see her, but you never see Kendricks really do it, or Corone. And so they shatter the force field device, and the force field's down. They greet the guys, and so then they call on their quasar launchers, the original ones that look like tubes and everything. But that's not enough. This monster is just too strong. And then it happens. The staff is reacting and shooting out water for some reason. And the lights, they appear finally. And the Rangers are just like in awe. The Magna Defender begs for them to come to him, but they won't. And they just leave the dome and go out into outer space. The monster leaves, and the Magna Defender later leaves, and the Rangers are just kind of like, at some point they have to find the lights. So it's birthday time, and everybody surprises Damon and everything, but he doesn't look very surprised. He's just kind of like, wow, you guys remember my birthday, with a dull expression on his face. Like, you think he'll be happy and everything, especially how he finally gets to say something in this episode. And so then Maya just walks towards the window. She's like that empathic type thing, and she can sense like the lights and everything. And then the rest of the Rangers join her, and they're just discussing about like the lights and everything, and it ends. And Kendra took off her glasses. I forgot the actress never wears glasses, and she just does it for the show, and she looks so different without the glasses and everything. And so, it's a nice little group shot. And it's a great episode. It's a fun episode. It's a nice little life lesson episode. It's just a good episode. Happy Women's History Month, everybody. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.